What the heck is Formula One?
Pole position, strategy,
yachts and parties,
safety car, Ferrari.
beautiful corners.
Oh, right, okay. There's a car in front of you. Try and overtake it.
Oh, I hate you so much.
Hello, you fools. Welcome back to another Formula Fools podcast. I am David, your self-appointed expert. And with me is Skin, who is the local fool on this podcast.
Hello.
And as you've just seen, new flashy intro. If you're listening to this, go over to YouTube channel. We've got an intro.
Hell yeah.
We might post it on the Instagram story as well. Maybe. I mean, who knows? Probably not.
Why would you not do that?
Well, no, we will. We could. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm just trying to entice people. Like, will he, won't he kind of thing. Like, they'll go over to Instagram now and be like, oh.
Oh, it's not there.
Good. Skin's got something for me. He's very excited for this. He's hyped it up so much as well.
Oh, Disc, don't be silly. It's just obviously this episode we're going to be chatting a little bit about the race that happened on the weekend, the Grand Prix. What that was in Belgium, right? Spa.
Yep.
Is that correct?
That's correct.
And I don't know what you thought about the race, Disc, but I've just got a bit of a hot take.
Yep.
This Lewis Hamilton.
Oh God, I knew. Okay, go on.
I just think if he could string like a good qualifying and then a good race together in the same weekend as opposed to just one or the other, I reckon he could be pretty good one day.
Yeah, one day he might amount to something.
Yeah, I think so. Don't you think?
Oh, Skin, yeah.
Sometimes he does some good stuff.
Sometimes on the odd occasion, he will just like pull it out the bag.
Yeah.
Yeah. But first up, we are going to go for a hot lap recap with Ryan Smith. Hit the jingle, Skin, by Skin on Mean Disc.
The race is over. It's that time in the show for the hot lap recap. Let's go, 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 go.
All right, fools, it's your hot lap recap for the Belgian Grand Prix right here, right now, where Spa gave us a weekend of two halves, a tense little sprint and a properly soggy, dramatic main event. So come on, let's get into it. First up, the sprint race. Max Verstappen, he managed to keep the McLarens at bay in that first race post Christian Horner. But only just. He managed to basically use the Red Bull rocket ship straight line speed to get past Piastri. Oh my goodness, to get past Piastri on the first lap, and then spent the next 15 laps playing cat and mouse, keeping Oscar just out of DRS range. It was proper tense stuff, that race, only short, wasn't it? And Piastri, he'd taken a monster pole on Friday. What a lap that was. But McLaren's higher downforce setup meant that he was a sitting duck on that long Kemmel straight. Now, once Max got past, Oscar was glued to his gearbox, but just couldn't get close enough to have a proper go. And Lando, meanwhile, well, he lost out to Leclerc at the start, didn't he? Very early on. He managed to get the place back, but then just got stuck behind the front two like the rest of us watching on telly. So, Verstappen wins the sprint, Piastri second, Norris third. It was a decent little appetizer, wasn't it? But that left McLaren with a real headache for the main race. Do they take off some wing to fight the Red Bulls on the straights, or do they keep it on for the rain that was definitely on its way? Now, on to the main event on Sunday. And what an event it was. After sitting around for an hour and a half because of a biblical downpour, the race finally got going behind the safety car. And on the very first proper racing lap, which was, I think, lap 4, lap 5, Oscar Piastri pulled off a blinder. He followed Lando through Eau Rouge, lifted off the throttle just a tiny bit less, and slingshotted past him using the slipstream on the outside of Lake Coombe. Proper brave stuff, especially in those tricky conditions as well. And Lando complained about having low battery issues. Did you catch that, Dave? They said on the radio, didn't they, that he was struggling to figure out, or the car was struggling to figure out where it needed to harvest the energy so it could deploy it in the right places. Modern Formula One driving. But with all of that said, he did admit that Oscar just committed more and deserved that lead. Now, from there, though, it was all about strategy. And when the track started to dry, the pit stops came. And Piastri, being in the lead, got the first call and went for medium tyres. Lando's side of the garage decided that they needed to roll the dice on this, otherwise they were going to forever be stuck behind him. And what they decided to do was put him on the hard tyres, hoping that he could go to the end while Oscar would have to stop again. Now, for a while, it looked like it might just work. Lando's times were excellent, and Piastri was on the radio saying that he thought it was going to be tough to make his tyres last. But he's got a cool head on him, hasn't he, that boy? Yeah, he is young, but he is one of the most mature drivers on the racetrack, and he managed that gap perfectly. Lando was driving his car like it was a qualifying lap after lap for the entire stint, trying to close the gap, taking out 6-7 tenths of a second each lap. But he kept making a few mistakes. He ran wide, he locked up at La Source, and then that slow pit stop as well cost him valuable seconds. And in the end, Piastri crossed the finish line with a 3.4 second lead. If only he hadn't made those mistakes, we could have had a really neck and neck finish. But Piastri, it was a masterclass in the wet. And his driving was brilliant and his tyre management was even better. Right, behind them, it was pretty static, wasn't it? Charles Leclerc did well to hold off Verstappen for third place, especially with a lower downforce setup in the wet. Max finished fourth, and his title hopes are now pretty much toast, in my opinion. Dave and Skin, I don't know what you guys are thinking, but he's 81 points behind Piastri now. Is it over? My driver of the day, to me, you've got to give it to Lewis Hamilton. And I know I'm seeing Dave now sort of like clenching his teeth. But after a qualifying mistake left him starting from the pit lane, Ferrari just changed his setup and he went for it in the race. He pulled off some brilliant on-the-fly overtakes and fought his way up to 7th. And he actually, on that last lap, he was right on the back of Alex Albon's Williams as well on the final lap. But he just couldn't get past. But still, that was a Sega Mega Drive, wasn't it? That really was. So, okay, to wrap it all up, Piastri extends his championship lead to 16 points with a brilliant, decisive victory. Norris drove his heart out, was undone by that first lap magic from his teammate and a strategy that almost but didn't quite pay off. And Verstappen is now basically out of the title fight. And Lewis Hamilton, of course, proved that there is still some magic left in those racing gloves of his. Right, next up, it's one of my faves. We have got the Hungarian Grand Prix. The title fight between the McLaren boys is getting properly tasty now. 16 points. That's your hot lap recap. I'm Ryan, reminding you that at Spa, just as in a British summer, if you wait long enough, the sun will eventually come out. But not before there's a bit of drama. The wet. See you later.
Anyway, so that was the hot lap recap with Ryan Smith. As if you can't tell, we don't have it yet. So this may be cut as well.
Maybe.
Go disc.
Maybe.
We might just leave all of it in.
Okay.
Even the awkward silence.
Yeah, that'll be good.
Yeah, probably not. So yes, the Belgian Grand Prix. Skinner's already mentioned it. It was Spa-Francorchamps, my favourite track.
Francorchamps?
Yeah.
What's that mean?
That's the name of the track.
Since when? When did they add Francorchamps?
That's been the name of the track forever, I think.
Does anyone call it that?
Yep.
Who?
Everyone.
No.
I'm pretty sure ahead of qualifying, Crofty was like, the Spa-Francorchamps, the one of the greatest tracks on the F1 calendar, one of the longest running F1 tracks.
Okay.
I'm sure he said it like that.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
Also, in the Formula Fools intro, we stand at the bottom of El Rouge and there's a banner in the background that says Spa-Francorchamps behind us.
Yeah, I remember filming that.
Yeah. Yeah. Good.
Yeah, I was there.
You were there that day.
Yeah. Oh, right, there you go. I thought it was just Spa.
No. There's a lot of things with Spa that people don't know or just cut out and forget about. Like El Rouge is the bottom corner and then Radion is the top corner, but people just call the whole sequence El Rouge. But then that's not even its full name. It has a longer name as well. It's like El Rouge, Radion's, there's something else. I don't even know it. I always forget it.
Right.
But there's always videos this time of year of people being like, oh, did you know El Rouge is not the... Do you know what I'm saying?
No, not really.
Yeah,
that
no.
wasn't English.
Yeah, no, that was just gibberish. That was disc language.
Good.
Yeah. It's my favorite track. And because of that, I was very, very excited for this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Watched Free Practice 1, was like absolutely like ear to ear smiles, just like so happy seeing the helicopter shots of the beautiful scenery, cars on track going up El Rouge, through all the weavy bits down into that last bus stop chicane. I just love it. Then sprint qualifying happened.
Yeah.
And thanks to Lewis and Kimi, we had something interesting because I could laugh at the fact Lewis got eliminated and then be shocked at the fact that Kimi got eliminated.
Okay.
Sprint race came around and I could laugh so much because the TV director for some reason kept cutting to both Kimi and Lewis in P16. I don't know why they kept doing that. It was the most boring sprint race I think I've ever witnessed. It sucked.
Okay.
So this part of the weekend, I started, my ear-to-ear smile had gone from that to rage and started to boil up inside of me. And then the main qualifying came around and I was pleasantly surprised.
With Lewis getting...
Well, I mean, I was very happy about that. Yeah, because it was like a TV commercial and then it came back and it was like, Lewis's lap has been deleted, he's out. I was like, yes! I was pissing myself. But no, mainly from, I didn't expect Lando to get P1. So I think he had a great qualifying lap. I thought Oscar looked better the whole weekend. And so I was shocked to see Lando get P1, but also Alex in P5, our best qualifying of the season for Williams. Very good lap from him. Aided by the fact that Mercedes just for some reason were nowhere. And and Lewis was also nowhere this weekend. So massively aided by that. But I started to get hopeful and then the race rolled around.
Yep.
Yeah. You watched it live.
I did.
You're a fool.
Yeah, that's my whole role on the podcast.
Yeah. But like it was delayed by an hour.
Yeah, well, once you've sat up till midnight and then it's delayed, it's like, well, I don't want this all to be pointless, you know?
Yeah.
I might as well keep sitting there.
That's very true. I went to bed at 10:32 or something like that was when I went to bed. The race started at 11.
Oh, yeah, perfect.
I thought the race started at 12. So I was like, I'm not staying up for this.
Yeah.
And then when I woke up the next day and looked at my calendar and was like, oh my God, that is so annoying.
Yeah, right. So you're the fool.
Yeah, I'm the fool.
Okay, so what did happen with the start of that race, right? It was a rolling start?
Yes.
What is a rolling start and why did they do it?
Good.
Thank you.
Rolling starts we have them in, if anyone watches endurance racing, most endurance races start with a rolling start. It's just you follow the safety car around. In endurance racing, they're allowed to go side by side. So you start on a rolling start, but in your starting positions. F1, we have to go single file. I don't really know why. I think if it's a start of a race like this, they should do the side by side rule. But yeah, it's in this circumstance, it's a safety thing. There was too much standing water on the track, especially down. What's the straight name? The Kemmel Straight. There was way too much standing water, so they sent the safety car around for the formation lap, and halfway around the formation lap, Bert Mylander would have like radioed back to the FIA and said, "This is bad. Let's do another lap or 2 laps behind safety car." I think it was then halfway around the next lap, which was technically the first, they then red flagged it. But yeah, just too much standing water. There was more weather systems coming in, so there was going to be more water on top of all of that, and it was just too dangerous to start the race like that. Now, you could argue, why the fuck do we have wet weather tires when they were all trundling around on intermediates instead of full wets? We used to, like back in the day, like 20 years ago, we used to have tsunami tires, which were just like for this exact situation, you would send the cars around behind the safety car and these tires would fucking get rid of the water. It was like sending a fucking bulldozer on that clears water.
Right.
But nowadays they just go around in inters. I don't know what the fuck the wets are for. Honestly, it's a waste of rubber resources and good materials because we never use them. And I think they should have all been forced to use them in that situation.
To clear the water.
To clear the water. Okay.
Why would they have not wanted to have
the low grip? It's really, really hard to keep the temperatures up in them because they're so... this is what I'm saying. They're pretty much unusable.
Okay.
Like I don't think we've seen a wet tire in like years, like maybe 2-3 years now. No one uses them.
Right. Okay.
So yeah, but that's what a rolling start is. It was just purely a safety thing. I fucking hate it. I would rather them just red flagged it before the race, but.
Right. Wait, so are you saying they did the formation lap then red flagged it and had the big delay?
So they did the formation lap. On the formation lap decided we'll do one more lap, which will class as the start of the race.
Right.
So after the formation lap, they just kept going. That was lap 1 of the race. And then on lap 1, they red flagged it. So then we started on lap 1 again when they came out the pits. But it was just like they went round and that was lap lap 1 kind of thing.
Okay. Gotcha.
And then they and then they did the rolling start. And when did we get underway? Like lap 3 or 4? Oh, maybe 5.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. So like, yeah, we just did a fuck ton of laps behind the safety car, which in my opinion was complete BS. Like, I think on lap 2 or 3, you could see 70% of the track was clear, and it was mainly just the Kemmel straight that had spray. But we have intermediate tires. Like, cars going fast down that straight will clear the water quicker than cars going slow.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't understand. I don't understand why we stayed behind the safety car for as long as we did.
Gotcha. Okay, and then so Lewis.
Yep.
Had a poor qualifying, couple of poor qualifyings.
Yeah.
He ended up starting from the pit lane.
Yeah.
Why did he do that?
They took a new. I don't think it's outside of the allocation, but they put a new engine in the car, so they had to take the car out of Parc Fermé regulations, which means you're not allowed to work on it after a qualifying session. They took the car out so they could make changes to the car, and the change was they wanted to put a fresh engine in the back of the car. Mm-hmm. So it's within his allocation, so he wouldn't get a penalty. But when you take it out Parc Fermé, your penalty is you start from the pit lane.
Okay.
Interestingly, after qualifying, I think it might have been Ted, the pundit, said to him, "Do you think there's any chance you'll take the car out of Parc Fermé and start from the pit lane?" And Lewis goes, "Nah, no point. There's never a point in doing that." And then I put the race on. It was like, Lewis Hamilton starts from the pit lane. I was like, good.
What the heck?
Yeah, it was like Ferrari were just like, But also, I would say changing the engine, which is what led to the rest of his good race.
Right.
He had great power down the straights.
Yeah. Okay. And how was starting? Did this rolling start make starting from the pit lane less of an issue for him? That would be quite helpful, I imagine.
Nullified everything. Yeah. Right. So there was 5 cars that started from the pits. Carlos started from the pits. Lewis. There was another couple. I think did Colapinto start from the pits? Maybe there's 4, something like that. 3 or 4 cars started from the pits, and yeah, basically by the end of lap 1, which was behind the safety car, they were just at the back of the field.
Yeah. Okay. And then so once we got underway.
Yep.
What went on there? So Lando, they finally started racing. Lando's had a shocker. Oscar goes past him.
Yeah.
But then he's complaining about some sort of battery pack issue.
Yep.
And then the rest of the field seems to have similar things. What was that all about?
Did the rest of the field had similar things?
I thought so. The commentators kept talking about some sort of battery pack issue that I didn't understand at all. And then I think it was lap 16, Max complained about clipping.
Yes.
Which is apparently related to that.
Related to the battery, but different. So I don't know. I didn't hear, I can't remember hearing about other people having similar issues to Norris. Norris's issue was more, I don't think he recharged his battery properly behind the safety car. And then when Oscar came out of turn 1 and had way better traction, I think Lando got a bit of a snap and skidded around. He would have used his deployment there and going up, because basically you exit turn 1, you're flat out from turn 1 through El Rouge, through Radion, down the Kemmel straight. You've got, almost half your lap, you're flat out. So if you mess up turn 1 and you're coming out, 5 meters, you've hit the accelerator 5 meters later than your opponent, you're not going to hit your top speed until 5 meters later. And in F1, that's a hell of a lot of time. That would probably be quite extreme, but you know what I'm saying? Mm. So then the second part of the lap, which is when we heard his radio message, we heard it towards the end, but it would have been around that second part of the lap. During the tight weavy bits and all that, he would have been trying to use it to power out of them to catch Oscar, and he would have had no deployment because he would have used it all on there. So it's just bad management from Norris. It wasn't that he had a problem, it was just bad management. When they said to him, it's coming back now, the battery doesn't fail and then just slowly starts building back up because he's recharging it. Mm-hmm. But you have to recharge it because you've fucking used all of it down that straight. So I imagine that is what it is that it's user error over anything else. Mm-hmm. The clipping issue that Max had was more, that sounds like it's more of a Red Bull power unit issue. They may not have got his setup correct with the recharge or with the power deployment within the software of the car. Okay. So it's different issue, but similar and we'll hear a lot fucking more of this next year because we're leaning more on the electrical systems next year for the regulations. So expect a lot more of this. Yeah.
And I mean, once Max is at Mercedes, and so Oscar overtakes Lando early, and then there's pretty much nothing else happens. Lewis is a guru for a little while, but not really a lot else to talk about through the middle. I think the order stays pretty similar for 40 laps.
Yeah, it was crazy.
And then toward the end of it, it's like, I guess the commentators and stuff are trying to build a little bit of excitement about ooh, will Oscar get to the end on the mediums or not, sort of thing. and everyone started talking about, and a lot of the other people in the field were on mediums as well, and so they're trying to push it to the end and wondering if they were going to make it, and they started talking about a tyre degradation cliff.
Yeah.
Your tyres just fall off a cliff at some point once they hit a point in degradation. What does that mean?
It's just a performance cliff, and you see it with, imagine you've got an elastic band and you pull it.
Mm-hmm.
If that elastic band can get 30 centimeters out and then it snaps, its cliff is at 30 centimeters. So in terms of tires, we're gonna pull them tires right to the edge of where they're gonna fall off, and then the moment they fall off, the reduction in like the drop in performance will just be so significant that you'll struggle to stay on track. Like you'll struggle to have any kind of grip at all. Either you've gone through the tread and you're at carcass, so you're just like driving on wire and like base rubber, or they'll pop, or they'll just like they'll lose the temperatures so quick that you'll just be skidding around because you've got cold tires. Mm-hmm. Silverstone 2012 was a good one in terms of the tires popping, because Pirelli were like, at this PSI, this tire will do this many laps. And then everyone went out and there was like 5 or 6 people across different teams that had tire blowouts during this one race. And it was that Pirelli's calculations were wrong because of the track temp being slightly higher or something. And so then the degradation was way higher, and that meant the cliff was earlier and everyone was pushing it to where they thought they could go. And then they just had like significant drop-offs and tire explosions and things like that. So like we've seen it happen in the past. So the commentators weren't hyping nothing.
Right.
Like I was pretty shocked that their mediums went that long. But then also like we just had rain. It's a cold track. Yeah. Degradation is going to be lower. It kind of made sense.
Okay.
But when Norris put the hards on, I was very much like, Norris is going to win this race. I thought he was just going to fucking power through and just dominate.
Sure.
Didn't.
Correct. So you're telling me there was a race where 5 people's tires just blew up?
Yeah. I think like 5, maybe 6. There was a lot.
That's fantastic.
There was a lot of like tire pops. We had like 24 drivers on the grid at that point.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. But Lewis was one of them. I'm sure Lewis and Jensen both in the McLarens. Sure it was.
Okay. No.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good race. We should have a look at that one.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of tire explosions at Silverstone. It's a very high deg track. But around Spa, it's not as high, especially in them kind of conditions. So yeah, it didn't surprise me at the end when they did get to them and you saw the tires. It was like, oh yeah, they don't actually look like that bad, like compared to Silverstone the other week. But I was shocked when they split the strategy at McLaren and Lando went on the hards. I was like, he's going to dominate this, which he didn't, which brings me on to my next point. We've spoken about this so many times this season, about Lando not having what it takes to be a world champion, about Lando making silly mistakes and throwing the championship away and blah, 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 whatever else. He made 3, arguably 4 mistakes during this race. The commentators focused on the lockup on the last lap. The lockup on the last lap was, there was no way he was going to catch Oscar at that point. Like unless Oscar's tires exploded and his car decided to go in reverse, there was no way he was going to pass Oscar. So it was just shocking to me that we saw, it was just shocking to see him make 3 lockups, I think it was, into turn 1. He went off wide, or 2 lockups into turn 1. He went off wide and lost almost a second and a half midway through the race when he was really catching Oscar. Like he was down to like 6.7 seconds. And then, or 7.7. And then went down to like 9.2 or something. Like it was ridiculous how much time he lost. And then at the very beginning with the power thing and like losing the place to Oscar and just not having any fight. This sums up Lando Norris' season, I reckon. Dominates at Silverstone, has a great win, and then comes to Spa and fucking deck chairs. I know he finished P2 still, but that McLaren's just a weapon. Like, if we had a tighter championship with the Ferrari and Mercedes being closer, or Red Bull, there's no way he would have podiumed this weekend with that many mistakes. There's just no way.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he looks shit.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying. I don't have a heap to add. He just kept making mistakes trying to chase him down, didn't he? It was quite bizarre. And he should have been on, like, his tyre should have been in better condition, right? Like, you wouldn't expect him to be sort of having lockups and skidding out trying to chase Oscar.
Well, the lockups was just more, again, driver error. And we heard on, like, one of the later laps after his second lockup, we heard his engineer coaching him just like, yeah, don't hit the brake pedal too hard. It's like, mate, this guy's supposed to be like the best British driver in the world at the moment. And you're having to tell him not to hit his brakes too hard after he's locked up. Like, I think he fucking knows that. but they're having to coach him and guide him along to try and win this championship.
Yeah, okay. In his defense, you would, like, once you worked out that Oscar's going to make the medium tires stick all the way to the end, then like chasing down that, whatever it was, 9-10 second gap is a tough ask.
Oh, it's
like, you're going to be
hard.
pushing your tires as hard as you can, and like, which is just going to increase the chances of making a mistake, I suppose.
Absolutely. But when you pit on lap 20 and then you get within 7 seconds with almost like just under half the race to go, you're looking at his times, you're like, fuck, this guy's going to catch him in the next 10 laps. And then 10 laps later, he's actually further away than what he was. It's like, fuck, come on. Like, the only person you've got to blame at that point is yourself. The car hasn't got slower. The tires have only got faster because they're hards. Like, it's his fault.
Okay.
He made the mistake.
Okay. All right. He did also make that mistake at the start, I suppose.
Yeah.
He probably should have been in front the whole time anyway.
Yeah.
Can't win them all, though.
I also wanted to mention Williams. Obviously, you know, Williams are the best team in Formula One. We have been for probably since it started, and we're just gurus. And a P6 this weekend was exactly what we needed.
Okay. You know what you remind me of? Completely off topic and pretty niche, but anyone who's seen the We Got the Chocolates podcast, you are Andrew Godey with the South Sydney Rabbitohs.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Williams is the best team because we won all these things back when no fucking other cars could drive.
We competed against Ferrari and McLaren back in their heyday.
Righto, mate.
We competed against Ferrari during their most dominant era, and we beat them.
Okay.
Okay, not maybe not the most dominant era. That was with Schumacher. But yeah. I digress. Alex did a fantastic job. Shame about his sprint qualifying and race. That was pretty shit. But Carlos did really well and scored us points in the sprint race. And then for some reason, for the main race, Carlos decided he was going to be shit and Alex was going to be good. So I don't know what was happening there. But yeah, Alex scoring P5 in qualifying and then P6 in the race was exactly what Williams needed. We've had a few races now scoring no points or just like 1 point or whatever for a little while. So it was nice to get our best qualifying of the season and a good race result. And Alex showed his... It's hard to say because these cars fucking suck at following, so that must have been hard for Lewis. But he showed his racecraft by holding up Lewis for the better part of half the race. Like, Lewis was on an absolute charge, made some of the best moves of the season. Like, if that overtake on Hadjar or Lawson or whatever it was after El Rouge on the Radion Straight, if that's not overtake of the season, then I don't know what will be. Because that was a phenomenal overtake. Oh, maybe that Oscar Piastri one. Like 4th race in or something. Remember the one? Maybe it may have been on Lewis as well.
Yeah,
that was a pretty good one.
Gotcha.
But this Lewis one was very good as well.
Yeah. Yeah, it did kind of look like for a bit there, like Lewis could just drive past anyone.
Literally.
And was going to win the race from the pit lane or something. But,
Yeah. I was getting
a bit excited.
Yeah. When he got up to P12, I was like, okay. And then they pulled a blinder of a strategy. Yeah. Everyone pits. He comes out P7. He was just on fire. And I hate to say it. You all know I hate Lewis. But oh my God, that was one of his best races of the season. It's certainly, I would say, his best race for Ferrari. I think, like, in terms of actually overtaking, working a good strategy, like the overall thing throughout that race was good. So yeah, really good from him, and even better from Alex to hold him behind. Obviously, he's got to end on a Williams high note. There was some people during this race, though, Skin, that weren't so lucky. Yuki Tsunoda, where is my list? Frick. Yuki Tsunoda, Isaac Hadjar, and Esteban Ocon. All three of these, like Yuki and Isaac, definitely running very comfortably in the top 10 for up until the first pit stop. And then the first pit stop happened. All three of these teams pitted their teammate on potentially like maybe on the optimal lap or maybe 1 lap too late. And it meant that these 3 guys all just got left out to dry. Isaac finished dead last because of it. He ended up having to pit again, which didn't help him, but he was like very comfortably in P9 or 8 or something. And then just was left out on intermediate tires and had 0 pace when everyone else was on the slicks and were just cruising along. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
And then the same for Yuki as well. Yuki got very unlucky. This was a good race for him up until this point.
Right. Okay. So for example, so Yuki, they would have pitted Max on the optimal lap. He has to do an extra lap on Inters, and it's just horrendously slow. Like we heard Oscar saying right before the pit stops as well, like the track's drying extremely quickly. So it was that crossover. Sometimes the crossover can be like 4 or 5 laps since you've got a bigger window. But the crossover, when it came quick. And like we saw Lewis pit. Lewis pitted on
Easy skin. Lewis pitted on definitely the optimal lap. And like we saw him jump almost 5 places or 4 places or something because of his strategy. And that was because he was out on the slick tires going so much faster than everyone. And these guys were left out on them inters for just 1 lap too extra, like 1 lap too long.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
So that's unfortunate for them. Another person that was very unfortunate, I think, was Ollie Behrman. He had a great sprint quali, had a great sprint race. I think he had a fairly good, because Haas got double points finish in the sprint race as well. Let's not forget that. Great result from them in the sprint. Mm-hmm. They've not been performing that well recently. So well done. Ollie Behrman finished P11 in the race, which is always just one of the worst positions to finish in. This is now the 5th time in a row he has finished in P11.
That's amazing.
That is unreal.
It's like he's trying to do it.
Yeah, literally. It's like, do you know what's better than P1? P11. There's 2 1s in it.
That doesn't make sense.
No, that is so unlucky. So my question to you is, where would you rather finish? Would you rather finish P1 or P20? Sorry, P11 or P20?
It's a great question.
Go Diz.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a toughie, mate. Let me think about it.
Probably P20 there, Gabe. Shit. P11 or P20?
I still think you would rather finish P11. There would be nothing more depressing than being stuck at P25 races in a row, just knowing there's no point you rocking up the next weekend.
I think I'd rather be P20.
No.
As a Williams fan, take it from me. All of the years of us finishing P20, and then we would get a P11, and I would just be like crying because we would be in P10, and then we'd get overtaken like within the last 10 laps.
Right. Okay.
That is the most soul-destroying thing. Like the hope of we're going to get a point, and then we don't get a point.
But at least you're in the game. You know, you're in the contest. You might next week. You might get a point, so you might as well come back.
Or you might finish P11 again. Tune in this weekend.
But like if you're like Kicks Albon last year,
yep.
Like they must have just been rocking up every week knowing they're P20.
Yeah,
and
yeah. That's true. Yeah, that's true. Like, yeah. But how good is that podium then for Nico? Like that champagne tasted much sweeter because of all of them P20s last year.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah. I would rather be P20. What do you guys reckon? If you listen on Spotify, you can comment below. Let us know what you would rather do, P20 or P11. Or P1.
Or P1.
No, who knows? Okay, we had a comment about this, and as soon as I saw this comment, I can't remember who it was, but you know who you are. Thank you for leaving this comment on, I think, YouTube. I changed it up the other week to, instead of driver of the day and whatever.
Because that's taken.
That's taken. Yeah.
Someone got to that before us.
Amateurs.
Losers.
Well, we're the amateurs kind of. We changed it to Formula Fool, and I changed it to something else. I can't remember what it was. But we had someone comment saying, I say guru all the time, and people call me out on that all the time. I didn't realize no one else said guru as much as I did. So we've changed it to Guru of the Week and Formula Fool of the Week.
Okay.
So, do you want to go with your guru first?
Sure. I played it safe this week. I've just gone Oscar. I think he got past Norris early doors. That was wonderful, and then did a pretty good job to make the mediums last the rest of the race.
I'm happy with that.
Yeah, you won the race. I don't really know what more you want.
Yeah, he'd prefer P1 to P2.
Yeah,
and he got it.
Exactly.
So yeah, no, I like that. I went with Lewis Hamilton. It's hard to argue with anything that he did. He was a guru.
Yeah.
He had the best race in terms of strategy. He had the best race in terms of overtakes. I think he looked very solid. I would love to say that this is Ferrari on the way up. Charles had a fairly good race, holding off thingy, so maybe Ferrari's upgrades are working, but overall at the weekend, not the best, but during the race, I think he dominated it. But also hats off to Alex for holding him up for so long. We just have to always, if we're going to compliment Lewis, we have to throw in a Williams compliment.
Okay. Fantastic.
Yeah. And who is your Formula Fool skin?
I found this one. I don't know. It was a tougher choice. I've gone Antonelli. I don't understand what happened to that poor fella this weekend, how he's ended up missing out on all the qualifyings and then just having a sticker of a race, the poor bloke. So that was disappointing.
He's genuinely just had one of them like bench warmer roles this weekend, hasn't he? Like just has not challenged anything.
Nah.
Yeah, bless him. I put Norris. I think it was the biggest. I think it's the biggest showing that he's not going to win this World Championship that we've had this season. Like all of the little mistakes, all of the problems he's having, all of the coaching he needed to just fucking secure P2, and was still messing up. Like I don't know. I was really hoping Norris was going to do good this season at the beginning, but yeah, not good for him. He's, in my opinion, he's lost the championship now. Give Oscar the trophy.
All right.
Next race we have got coming up is the Hungarian Grand Prix. Hungary is known, I've got 3 things for you to look out for. Hungary is known as the Monaco of real racetracks. It's very tight, it's very small, and overtaking sucks. So look forward to that. But because of that, there is a high chance of a safety car, which could shake things up in terms of strategy. We've got a few things for strategy to look out for. So in the last 10 races, we've had 7 safety cars. So there is a 70% chance of a safety car. I'm going to say, even though we've got a field this year that don't crash that much, I'm going to say we're going to have a safety car within the first 4 laps. And we may then just see someone pit onto hards and fucking go to the end and it'll be boring just like Spa was. But look out for that. Hopefully a couple of safety cars or a late safety car would be fantastic. But a safety car is kind of on the cards. Like I just said, overtaking sucks. Qualifying is going to be the main thing to look out for. So watch qualifying this weekend. Don't miss it. It'll be a good one. Oscar's going to get pole. That's my prediction.
Okay.
And Alex, P2.
Dave, you're making a fool of us.
Yeah, I know. I'm really sorry. Well, there is someone that is just as big of a Williams fan as me that is just sat there going, yeah, damn right. Yeah, fuck yeah. And the last thing to look out for, it is going to be hot in Hungary this weekend. Temperatures 30 or above all weekend from Friday through Sunday. So with the hotter temperatures, with the high chance of a safety car, keep an eye out for strategy during the race. It's the only thing we've really got to hold on to because overtakes are going to be minimal. So hopefully degradation's high and we can get a 2-stopper. And hopefully Pirelli don't come through with just like the hardest compounds. Let's get some interest in Pirelli. Let's have softer compounds and let's have interesting racing.
All right, come on.
Well, that wraps up another lap at the Formula Fools podcast. We hope you enjoyed the ride as much as we did, and it is now your turn to join in with the Fools family. I added an in there for some reason. You can connect with us on social media, which is... I'm all over the shop today, Skin.
That's okay.
I'm usually
the best of
I'm usually on the ball with this as well.
Yeah. Normally, this is your area of expertise.
Yeah. Facebook, we are Formula Fools. Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok, we are Formula_Fools.
You can also leave a rating and review wherever you're listening, Apple, Spotify, places like that. That would help a great deal. Thank you.
And thank you for joining us at Formula Fools, where every turn is a chance for a good laugh. We'll see you next time.
Bye.